Alrighty, and welcome back to Star Wars Review. So the other day, a sampler was released for the High Republic, which includes excerpts slash previews for the first wave of High Republic stories. So the first 5, and I read it, and so I'm just gonna talk about it. First, there was the first 7 chapters of Light of Jedi, which I've read those already. Because they released them. In fact, I believe they released the first 8 chapters. I did a video on that already because I did that released that uh several weeks ago. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything different in it or not, but yeah. But then there was the first 3 chapters of Into the Dark, which is the young adult novel written by Claudia Gray, which I really liked those chapters, mainly because I was really liking every single character introduced in the story. The main character, Jedi Padawan Wreath Silas, I believe that's how I pronounce his name, I don't know. And, boards this ship called the Vessel, and there's some other Jedi coming along with him, and then the 2 pilots of the ship. I just really liked all their characters and whatnot. But we also learn a little bit more what's going on with the Great Disaster. We learn that ship, the Vessel, in hyperspace, and actually learn that they were near the Legacy Run, which is the ship seen the first chapter of Land of Jedi, when it, crashes and causes the big disaster at the Hetzal system we see in this excerpt for Land of Jedi. But we learn that the vessel is right there with them, and obviously escapes and is fine. But we also learn that the Republic is sending out a distress signal or whatever, just saying to leave hyperspace at once. And so they do, but they're stranded out in the middle of nowhere. And yeah. And then there's a flashback for the two of the other Jedi characters. But yeah, can't wait to read more of Into the Dark. I really liked what I've read so far. But then the first 3 chapters of A Test of Courage, which is the junior middle grade novel. There's first 3 chapters of that, but that one written by Justina Ireland, which some of the first chapter was released a few months back, which I did a video on that, but the 3 chapters overall kind of introduces us a little bit to the characters, but nothing really go off of, so yeah, not really much to say there. But then the first several pages of the first issue of the High Republic Adventures, a youth comic from IDW, which was written by Daniel Jose Older, which a few of the pages have been released before. The first few were with the speech bubbles, and some of them were but without speech bubbles, but now they have them, which not really much to go off of, stuff what's new is speech bubbles, so yeah. Also just the black and white comic, without the colors, I have a harder time following what's going on when it's like that, but yeah. And then the first several pages of the first issue of the Marvel High Republic comic series, which will be written by Kevin Scott, which the first few pages were released before, and some of the pages were released without speech bubbles also. But those new pages did reveal some stuff. Not a lot about the main character, Keeve Trennis. We see her in her master skier, the Trandoshan Jedi, on one planet, and she's, I assume, doing her trials in the moment. But we do see some stuff on the Starlight Beacon with Var Chris, I believe main character of Light of the Jedi, and you see Yoda there, who I guess isn't a part of the Jedi Council at this moment, because I guess he's going to do the teaching stuff what we see in the High Republic Adventures comic series, but and he isn't Grandmaster yet, but Grandmaster is a Jedi named Vitar. But there, Yoda and Vitar give Var Chris the title of Marshal of the Starlight Beacon. So, I don't know if this issue takes place before or after the Great Disaster, or before or after Light of the Jedi, even, or during Light of the Jedi. Don't know, but but we do learn that Sskeer was just in a battle, the Battle of Kur, against the Nile, which is where he lost his arm, and we learn that Jedi Master Jora Malai died during the battle, which is Reath Silas's master, character from Into the Dark. So yeah, but once again, don't know when this issue takes place. If it's before all that, in the chapters for Into the Dark, didn't seem like Reath knows that his master is dead. So I don't know. But yeah, I really like what I read in the comic. And just Sampler as a whole. The Light of Jedi stuff was already released beforehand, which I've read and liked, but I really liked what I read from Into the Dark and the Marvel comic. A Test of Courage and High Republic Adventures is not enough to go off of right now, but see how those go on. Obviously, those aren't the High Republic stories I'm looking forward to the most. It's Light of Jedi, Into the Dark, and the Marvel comics. So yeah, but as a Sampler was enjoyable. But anyways, the first actual High Republic story was fully released. A short story in the Star Wars Insider magazine, which is titled Starlight Part 1 Go Together, which is by Charles Soule. I'll be doing a review of that soon, but then sometime next month, January 5th, is when Light of Jedi and A Test of Courage comes out. I'll be doing reviews of those, and then every other High Republic release after that. But for now, I've been Starzy. I'll catch you guys in the next one.